Welcome to Insights on Distance Learning, Urban Academy Professional Learning Community, April 2020. Assessments in Distance Learning. Formative assessments show student learning for key concepts and skills. Distance learning provides challenges. Only a few minutes are available to check in with students. How can we make the most of that time? Questions about assessments. Following are questions and ideas to think about. How to assess student ability to independently use the Big Five in reading to comprehend stories and text. What are aspects of the Big Five that each student needs to work, considering they all may be at different levels? What can each student work on this week? Other questions to see if students understood a story or text besides multiple choice. What did you like about the story? What surprised you? Who was your favorite character and why? These questions lead to open-ended dialogue of how student understands the story. Prepare students to answer these questions next week. Maybe focus on retelling stories. Retelling is one important way students can show that they understand a story. How could students get better at retelling? Pre-K insights on assessments. Pre-K assessment is largely observational. Teachers talk on Mondays with the caregiver about different pre-K student activities. Teachers do 3-day read aloud with students. Then provide questions and activities for language and literacy goals as well as math, science, social, emotional, and art goals. Teachers track student activities weekly in each domain in spreadsheets. Notes include what parents report and what teachers hear during read-aloud conversations with the students. Kindergarten insights on assessments. In read-aloud sessions, ask questions, remind students to review what they are learning and prepare for the test. Students follow daily packets with teachers and have their packets in front of them during student-teacher calls. On Tuesdays, students see a copy of the assessment in their packet. For literacy, each student practices a reading suitable for their level. A variety of questions from the 3 levels of comprehension are used. These questions are verbally asked before, during, and after the reading. Teachers record responses for each child in a notebook. Example of questions for a story about recess. What do you predict the story is about? What is one activity the author likes to do at recess? What is one toy the author plays with at recess? What do you think the author does with this toy? What is the main idea of the story? What is something you can do at recess that the author did not talk about? First grade insights on assessments. For student literacy lessons, provide fun ways for students to interact with their reading sessions. For example, give students a cube with different story elements on each face. Students roll it and use the resulting story element to tell about the story's characters, main idea, setting, and so on. To improve student engagement, add tangible aids to help with comprehension questions. Teachers start by finding students' background knowledge. This helps improve learning and support quality assessments. For example, one story was about a circus and clowns. Many students have not been to a circus but have seen clowns in a parade. Assessments for a week's lessons are given the following Monday. In part, this involves asking students 3 comprehension questions, clarifying details. And identify 2 core skills, focusing on the spelling patterns, word work for the week. Teachers track student progress, identify and support challenges students and families are facing. Teachers use media tools besides phone calls with families. This provides visual connections so teachers can see what students are doing and students can see the teacher. Second grade insights on assessments. Teachers are adapting teaching approaches and practices. Focus carefully and consistently on a specific key skill for the week. One skill focused on using pronouns to determine point of view, That went very well. The next skill, determine the moral from a fable from what the character was doing wrong and the consequences. This was too high a concept for students to grasp by phone. This skill will be made much clearer for the students in the review week. Teachers target on a key skill over a week to help students gain better understanding. Use the same lesson throughout the week to help students expand their learning. Reusing a lesson day after day makes learning more effective for the students. Teacher-student calls are more efficient. Students' ability to summarize a story is very important. Working first on summarizing the story, a fable, has helped students better recognize the wrong action and consequence. The summarizing story skill may be necessary to identify the main idea, which is really what a moral of a fable is. Third grade insights on assessments. For reading lessons, students will read to the teacher and then retell and predict what will happen. Reading lesson assessments will be based on shorter reading passages. Students read to the teacher and answer multiple choice questions. Fourth grade insights on assessments. One half of the assessments were step-by-step with students. Also, assessments include Big 5 Math and Big 5 Reading. Having students take the test while on the phone helps students give more responses. Having multiple choice answers in tests and assessments makes it easier to get answers. However, multiple choice may not be the best approach. Fifth grade insights on assessments. Teachers use a variety of types of assessments: multiple choice, fill in the blank, graphic organizers, and listing 5 facts for biographies. This week for the Big 5, teachers will focus on context clues and vocabulary. Teachers are seeing more consistency with many students. However, teachers are having trouble getting a hold of some students. Sixth grade insights on assessments. Teachers are changing their approaches to assessing students. Graphic organizers help students structure thinking in logical ways. This helps students understand concepts through the use of the Big 5. Talking with students through a test over the phone helps. One test per week does not adequately show student growth in the areas of math and reading. Students testing on their own and recording results does not work well. Going through the tests with students like any other school day helps. Teaching in distance learning has changed, so assessing must change. Student growth throughout the week is evident. Consider using a 1 through 4 system assessment focused on effort, growth, and proficiency. Consider measuring how much assistance is needed for end-of-week challenge questions. Sixth grade assessment idea. Score of 1 when student is often uncontactable and doesn't put in required effort. Score of 2 when student shows up but is unorganized, distracted, and shows some growth. Score of 3 when a student has great attendance for the week, tries really hard, shows growth, but struggles with challenge questions. Score of 4 when student always shows up, tries, shows growth, and is able to complete challenge questions with minimal support. English language assessment insights. Students respond better when academic tasks are routine. Routine reduces students' mental energy. They know what is expected. Setting 2 or 3 choices of how to respond can help. Use close reading to make academic discussion routine. Examples of close reading questions are statements. 1. This is important information. 2. I don't understand this word or section. 3. I have a question about this part. 4. This part surprised me. 5. I like this part. 6. I made a connection at this part. It reminded me of. Assessment questions tailored to the Big 5 reading strategies. 1. What will happen? Predict. 2. What clues did you notice? Context clues. 3. What happened? Summarize. 4. What is it mostly about? Main idea. 5. Why did the author write it? Author's purpose. Many students respond well to a routine way of making text connections. Useful ideas in teaching text connections are available at the following link. Use open-ended tag questions addressing why or how and so on to get a longer response from students. Warm up students with silly questions, icebreaker. Use sentence starters to prime students to make full sentences. Special Education Assessment Insights. Keep a running record for each student. Works with students on practicing inferences. Reducing reading material to read in a week helps some students. Follow interactive pattern I do, you do review, then track responses. Use more open-ended questions based on the rubrics to assess. Using read-alouds with students helps calls go better. Guide parents on distance learning plans. Parents have student packets ready for when teacher calls. We hope these insights assist with your distance learning. Thanks for watching.